What is up, everybody? Today, we're gonna be going over my 350Z track build. I feel like this is a good video to kind of maybe start this channel back up. If you're an OG, you remember. If you're not, welcome. But I've done a lot to this car, and I know there are a ton of people that are always looking for more info on these types of cars. So I figured, why not make this huge in-depth video on, every aspect of it. And I'm gonna have it divided into sections so they're easy to follow along with. Now, is this the most track prep 350Z you've ever seen? No. Is it the least track prep 350Z you've ever seen? Also no. I could probably get away with detailing this just because of the reliability of that engine right there. It's just way too loud, no AC, no heat, no nothing. On a scale of about 1 to 10 prep, I'd say it's maybe a 7 or an 8. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it, and we're gonna start off with the most obvious, that is the exterior. So for the exterior, as you can see, quite a bit done to it. Right off the rip, we got those Nismo 57CR rays, and gently around them are the brand new Vitour Tempesta P1 X01R. These are my first brand new set of tires in a very long time. This is primarily an autocross car, which is why I went with that tire. They are 295 all around. The rays are 18 by 10.5 plus 22 offset. Obviously had to roll the fenders. I don't think I had to roll the fenders on the front, but these are an extra grippy 200 tread wear tire compound. We're gonna move on to the probably most exciting part of it. We got the 9 Lives wing. It is adjustable, can move it up and down. It's currently down because of autocross, and when I go on the track, it's kind of in the middle. And then we have the Mercury GT3 diffuser. This is kind of rare, shipped from Japan, took forever, but it looks sick. And as soon as I disregard the rule set, I will be adding a flat floor, and that will hopefully help it out just a tad. The rods that are supporting the edge here are from FS Performance Engineering. And then you had to cut the bumper right here. I could have probably went a little bit lower, but I just cut it even with the bash bar there. That's just a single bash bar from True Focus Fabrication. And then there's also no evap canister because it will not fit with this diffuser. We got the Amazon carbon fiber door handles. We got the eBay carbon fiber mirror covers. And these are Duraflex brand fiberglass fender vents. So the brand is Duraflex, but they are fiberglass, and this kind of broke here, so it doesn't really go in all the way. And then moving on to the front, we got the AJ Hartman canards. This one, as you can see, has taken quite a beating, has hit a lot of cones, and is kind of broke on the top there. I'm gonna re-drill that and hopefully fix it. Splitter's also taken some damage. That is once again from 9 Lives Racing. I basically just bought their mounts, and then they also will just sell you a cutout of the splitter, and you can make it out of plywood, and that's what I did. And I believe that is 4-inch tall garden edging that I just traced out around the bumper to kind of stop the air from going underneath, pushes it all the way around. I do not even know what brand this air dam is, but this stops the air coming in from down here from just going straight up. It pushes it through the radiator, through the fans, up and out through the hood louvers. The hood louver is from racelouvers.com. At some point I'll get the sides, but they're kind of pricey, and I think the hood does just enough for what I need. I have never overheated on track ever. And then this right here is just completely custom made. I cut straight along that body line, basically cut this little triangle out. Headlights, I believe, are just from Amazon. Here's a nice little view of it in all of its glory. Made all the decals myself. If you need any decals, hit me up, quantumproshop.com. We got Z1 toe strap, and then there's a Sparco toe strap on the back. So while we're here, we'll go ahead and get the engine out of the way. Stock VQ DE with a RZG 3.5-inch intake all the way down there. Then a Concept Z Performance 75mm throttle body. Also Concept Z Performance open breathers there for the valve covers. As you can see, my coolant hard pipe is gone. The coolant system has been pretty modified. That's a HR thermostat housing. Heater hoses are gone. The heat and AC are gone. Down in there is a Z1 lightweight crank pulley, and then a AMS lightweight idler pulley. And also, as you can see, power steering is gone as well. And that is because we have upgraded to a Volvo power steering system. I will have a video on that if you want more info, but it has not given me any issues so far. And you might be wondering, where's the battery? Since that's connected to the engine, I'll go ahead and show you. It's right there. That is a Braille 15-pound lightweight battery. Relocated that. I have a little short uploaded if you want to see how I did that. We got the Weapon R coolant overflow. It did look a lot better before I stopped caring about polishing it. Just a Megan Racing aluminum radiator, has not overheated on me once. And then valve covers, just those Amazon aluminum ones, no issues whatsoever, just use OEM gaskets. And we got the famed plenum spacer, and we got some miscellaneous Z1 silicone hoses everywhere. Stock transmission, as far as I know, it's a stock clutch. I have not touched this clutch since I have owned it. It only has 48,000 original miles. Same engine, same transmission, has never been removed from the car. And since I'm showing the whole car, this is under 3,000 pounds. Even with all of the aero and everything, it's under 3,000 pounds. I think under 2,900 pounds is easily doable with all the stuff I still have left to change on the car. Last bits of the engine, I have 1,050cc injectors going to a Walbro 485 pump. It's on E85, it's tuned by admin, the GOAT, have had no issues. It has been extremely reliable. The only unreliabilities I have had are from my own doing. I just compression tested the engine not too long ago, passed with flying colors. And this car was turboed, so it does have like a weird fuel return system from APS. No idea how it works. It's really weirdly routed up above the fuel pump. Not gonna touch it. It makes about 255, 260 to the wheel. Not very fast, but it has a lot of mechanical grip, a lot. And then for the exhaust, I just have stock headers. One day I will get long tube headers, but I think I will wait until the engine needs to come out for that. Burke test pipes, straight Y pipe, straight mid pipe, and then going to a Z1 muffler. And while we're down here, I don't know if you can see that, we do have an OS Geiken Superlock LSD with a Nismo high capacity cover. The OS Geiken has really helped rear exit grip on this car. And last few things on the engine powertrain side, I do have a short shifter. It's a torque solution short shifter. And then if we open this up, don't even know if you'll be able to see it, but we have an upgraded Willwood master cylinder, the clutch master cylinder. Got some upgraded stainless steel and insulated lines. Have had no issues overheating after that. I believe it's Motul 660 fluid, same with the brakes. Whatever the highest temp Motul fluid is for the clutch and the brakes, that's what I use. Same with the engine, same with the power steering pump, all Motul fluids, no issues whatsoever. So now I'm gonna move on to like the steering, suspension, and brakes part of it. As you can see right here, we got the Thunder Lane coilovers, custom built for this chassis. I would definitely go check them out. 100% notice the difference before and after. The main thing with using cheap coilovers is your amount of grip that you have is very limited. I had the ISR coilovers and the travel of the suspension was like this much. And I was noticing on hard braking and like, fast turns, my inside rear was lifting because the suspension just doesn't travel that much. With these coilovers, they're fixed length for this chassis. 20K front springs in the front and 8K in the back. And they have so much more travel, haven't had any issues. The droop is kind of insane, but I definitely noticed an improvement on just kind of overall grip and especially like sweeping turns. You should not be lifting the inside rear of this car. That's Ford Fiesta front wheel drive activities, So starting with the front end here, as you can see, we got the big Akebono brakes. They say power stop, but they're just rebuilt, remanufactured Sport 370Z brakes. I believe they are Rufus brakes. The rotors really don't matter. These were like 70 bucks a piece and they've lasted me 4 track days so far. There is a little bit of heat cracking on them, but not enough to be worried about. And then we got the Hawk brake pads all around. I have like 3 different compounds that I use. I think it's HP Plus, 5.0, and HPX. And you can't see them, but I've got GK Tech upper control arms, solid spherical bushings that has a tad of camber adjustment. It's all I needed. And then I've got the GK Tech solid lower control arm bushings because those would just bust every other autocross for me. The stock rubber style would. Put those solid ones in, obviously never had any issues. We also do have the Z1 solid motor mounts. may be able to spot it through there. I wish I had a lift. If I had a lift, I'd go through and show you literally every single thing, but one day. That's about all for the front. We do have a Z1 poly transmission mount in the middle there. Moving on to the rear, we basically have the Z1 brand Akebono brakes, and then Z1 brand just slotted rear rotors. Yeah, literally, unless you're chasing the most amount of weight reduction possible, which I physically can't within the classes that I'm in, just get some nice calipers and pads. And for the rotors, I honestly wouldn't waste your money on two-piece rotors unless you've just got the money to spend. As you can see, we got the Megan Racing little subframe tie brace. Can't really see it, but we've got a Bell differential brace there. Then obviously for the steering, everything really is stock except for the Volvo steering pump. And this is sort of suspension, and it will kind of lead us into our last section, which is interior. We have a Perrin 4-point roll bar. As you can see, we cut the rear strut brace out. Rear hatch is somewhat gutted here, mainly just so I could easily mount the wing here. So moving on to our last section, the interior. Not much to this. We have the LRB aluminum door panels. I had this printed and I wrapped it myself because I love the red and black topographic patterns. But we got the NRG seat for me, Sparco harness, custom fire extinguisher mount that I made. Got a Sparco 330 millimeter racing wheel. This was used, and I believe it came off of some type of Hyundai Cup car or something. I really can't remember, but that's attached to the NRG quick release and a hub adapter. Tomei shift knob. We basically got all glow shift gauges because, you know, if it works, it works. And then we have the AEM AFR gauge that doesn't work. How ironic that the cheap Amazon gauges have never failed me, and then the AEM one has failed twice now. This is the seat that was on that side, but it just sits too tall and it's a little too tight for my thick body. I mean, it's Japanese from 2006, Cobra carbon fiber. It is like an OG, really nice seat. I guess I also didn't mention I cut out the entire stereo housing there. That in and of itself, I think saved about 60 pounds. If you have the Bose subwoofer, probably add 10, 15 more pounds of that. Other than that, there she is. There you have it. That's a nice little rundown of my Track 350Z. Right now, I am bound to the XA and M4 rules for time trial and autocross, which basically states you have to have your interior somewhat finished from the B-pillar up. That's about as finished as it's gonna get. I don't really have any other plans for the interior other than I really, really want the Hyperhive 370Z dash. It's like one-piece composite. It will perfectly replace 350Z dash, and then I can kind of remove stuff behind the dash while I have it out, and that's even more weight removed. But I think this is a good place for this car because it doesn't really have any power adders. It's still 260 horsepower. I won't really think about fully gutting the front and, you know, getting rid of the carpet, doing all that stuff until it's got more power, and that's not really a priority for me right now. It drives perfectly fine how it is, and the worst thing I'd want to do is take out a 48,000 original mile engine to throw in an LS or add like a supercharger on top of it and end up blowing it prematurely. It's just more stuff to go wrong. And that's kind of why I simplified the coolant system, got rid of everything off the accessory drive, because that is less stuff to break and go wrong. And I do think that is a contributing factor to why this engine has lasted for however long it has and hasn't really had any issues. But if you're still here, thank you for watching. I may be uploading some more on here. We'll see. Let me know what you guys would like to see. I autocross it about every weekend or every other weekend, and I go to about 2 track weekends a year. I am going to a time trial next week, so there may be some content on that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Peace.